Hello, you are listening to Between Sets. This is Fuzz.
Mike.
This is quite a rare thing for everyone, and I've not actually told you this, but we've left this very last minute, and this is like the other episode was called Bareback. This is fully like ultimate, no editing involved. I don't have time to edit any of what we're saying, so let's just take off the list. Right? Don't be racist, please. Try and avoid swear words, especially the C word. Not that it really fucking
that's
cares.
not me. That's all you.
What, the racist bit as well?
No, you and the C-bomb constantly. Some of it's valid, but my filter. I imagine that like grandparents in the room. That tends to work.
Oh right.
No? Yeah.
So I'm assuming you still have grandparents.
No, I don't actually.
Do you not?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No.
So it doesn't actually fucking matter, does it?
No. There you go. He's done it first. I'm free to do what I want now.
How was your holiday? We didn't actually catch up last week because we had a guest on, our first guest.
God, that was a while ago now, but yeah, really good, really really good.
We touched base on food, which we do probably every episode now.
Yep. Went and did a lot of hiking, climbed up some waterfalls. There's a lot of waterfalls in Norway. They're everywhere. Same with
every
mountains
day,
and stuff.
You're somewhere different, and overnight they travel.
Yes, correct.
I don't know how I'd sleep. Like the anxiety, I'd be like, I hope he hasn't fallen asleep at the wheel or whatever. Like, have you seen the Titanic? Do you know what I mean?
Okay, it's not one guy, if that helps. There's like a whole team of people doing stuff.
Yeah, but there's always a leader.
Yeah, so you got your captain who does like announcements every morning. So we've arrived in Stavanger or Olden or whatever.
Stavanger, is that a country?
Yeah, it's a place in Norway, Stavanger. And you've got Olden.
I need to get out.
And where else did we call it? We came with a H. I forget now. But yeah, the whole country is just really nice. You come back here and it's like, oh, I don't want to be here.
We do need to try a cruise. I've not actually had any bad reviews about a cruise. There's a Disney cruise as well now that they do, so that sounds pretty cool. That sounds a bit.
How does that work? What, there's just Disney themed on board, or what?
I'm assuming, they just fucking take over, mate. Just Mickey Mouse is everywhere. Yeah,
fair. Yeah, I mean, I can understand why, because it was me. I can understand why people would be nervous and or skeptical about cruises. And then a second you go on one, it's like, oh, yeah, okay, this is great. I get the attraction. And it's not for old people really either anymore. Like, okay, yes, there are old people on there, but it's such a huge age range on the ship. That's a question. I don't know whether it's a ship or a boat. I know there is a correct answer to that, but I don't know what it is.
And if we were to review and investigate that, we would be the worst podcast in the world. So we're actually just going to call it a ship. We're going to move on with our lives.
Fair enough.
I think.
Yeah, I don't know what the distinction is.
Point out
there's a Navy person somewhere pulling their hair out, but yeah.
Yeah, if they're listening to this podcast, then there's something wrong with them. Just like you guys now, actually, thinking about it.
Yeah. Why are you here?
Start questioning your life choices. Where are you driving to? Why are you listening to us? There's other things better to be doing with your life. Anyway,
we are popular among dog walkers, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
So for dog walkers specifically, apparently we are entertaining for when they're picking up dog shit. We are better than picking up dog shit.
All on the same level, on the same playing field, literally. Can I just point out the elephant in the room, though? Can I just, sorry.
Yes.
No, you just changed now. You were extremely bright, and now you...
That is... So this is the thing. We are recording at a time we don't normally record.
Yeah.
So you might notice a slightly different background. We've had some decorating done because I'm a real adult now. I go on cruises and have decorating.
You got someone to do it for you. Just
again, I don't mind painting, and I'm okay at it.
This goes back to when you were bitching about me thinking about getting a cleaner. It's the same thing. You've just outsourced a job.
Yeah, but they do a much better job than what I would do.
So would a cleaner. I can barely wipe my ass, mate. Do you know what I mean?
I'm married. Tash does a lot of cleaning for me. It's fine. I do some stuff.
Oh, this is not going to go. Oh,
It's fine.
stereotypical bloke.
She doesn't listen. She doesn't listen. No, we have like pink and blue jobs. Do your house have this?
Yeah, kind of. I do
Yeah,
most of it now because I feel bad. She works more than I do.
yeah. I mean, I would always do the floors. I always do the bins, loading the dishwasher, all that kind of stuff. And then she'll generally do like clothes washing because I have a knack of really ballsing that up.
How can you balls that up?
Just don't.
What have you done? How many pink shirts do you now own?
Only the one. That's because I had to get rid of a lot of others.
Just pink socks now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we definitely have like a division of labour, if you like, and I'm fine with that. I know what I'm. But again, I can paint stuff. That's not a problem. But inside the house, like if I have to be really precise with, like, the very edges,
edging.
It's again for anyone else, they're probably looking at me like, it's fine. But if I can see it and I know I've done it, I'll see it every day and it'll bug the shit out of me.
That's what masking tape's for, though, mate.
It doesn't work. You can't tell me you're going to get that perfectly straight. Like decorators, they don't even do that. They're just like, bang.
Yeah, because they do it on the daily. That's why, yeah.
Yeah, and they do it again. But the main reason we had this done was like, so the house was like a previously rented property, and they put this silk paint on, which you can't paint over, like which won't stick to the wall, basically. So everything had to be sanded.
Yummy.
That would have been weeks for me doing that. So I just yeah. But yeah, that's so now I've got a nice blue background.
It's a lot more professional actually now. But I'm not sure if it's the sun that keeps like beaming through, but your saturation and keeps
so
changing.
That we are recording at a time we don't normally record at, and there is
sun
when the sun goes from behind like a cloud. It's just illuminating me.
Yeah, you do not. You're going to heaven.
Yeah, the problem is I'm
to be
the
fair,
least tan human being.
You're never going to go to heaven. Let's just put that. Let's just make that.
Yeah, I deal with it. It's all right. Yeah, I mean, people after classes will generally just say, "Go back to hell." People swearing at me a lot this week, dude.
Yeah.
Like people who typically wouldn't swear. I had one lady this week. We're finishing a setup on hack squat. On her last 2 reps, she goes, "You're such a bastard." And there was real venom to that as well, you know.
You actually got brought up in as my therapist as one of your clients. So on was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. She was just like, you know what Mike's like, and I'm like, yeah, because we were basically just talking about her doing the sessions at home, and like you just kind of like pushed her to just do it at home. Just do it. Why are you even doing it there? Just do it at home. And it's like she walked into the ring with her tail between her legs, like Mike's told me off. You might you might meet me somewhere else next week. So it was quite funny.
That's good. I like that. I mean, it's really weird. I don't know if you've noticed this now with like some of your clients, because you've had some now that have been with you for a little while now, I believe.
Well, you say that like I only started mid-June properly.
Okay, yeah, a couple months. I just make a note of it as you go forward. Like, I see a real change in people. Like, the fitter and more confident they get physically. Like, mentally, they just start to want to do more stuff. They want to take, just not like in a bad way, but like slightly more risks, and like they want to improve their lives in more ways than one. And we've said it a few times on here. Like, fitness is like such a game changer for so many people, just in not physically but mentally as well.
I do get a lot of the mental side of it. Like, I do find myself being a therapist more than I kind of expected to be. But I'm actually enjoying that, like listening to people, like the clients, the shit my clients are going through right now. And I'm like, like the thing is, like, obviously I'm genuinely interested. That's the reason why I do a podcast. Like, I'm genuinely interested in what they're going through, and I want to help. Despite my therapist saying, "Stop trying to fix everything." Apparently, it's an ADHD thing where you just have like this weird urge to just help everyone constantly.
Right. Okay. Yeah. It's interesting. Do you find you're learning more things about yourself?
Oh, 100%. Now that you're going through this? If anyone's listening to this, full stop. No, if anyone's listening to this that are thinking about investing in self-development, I think a therapist is definitely one of the best mental sort of ways to go about it. You haven't got to go once a week. You don't even have to go once a month, but just having that chat and understanding sort of where your opportunities are to improve as a person, like mentally.
Yeah.
Like it's all in your brain. Like I'm just like discovering really what ADHD means and what OCD means properly, with me, because it's all different, like there's different levels of everything, right? But I didn't even know like the simple of it, of being of having ADHD. I now need to edit this because I'm just stumbling my words.
Leave it.
Apologies, guys. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that in.
Yep.
But yeah, like ADHD basically is just you chasing dopamine constantly, and your brain's
Right.
like addicted to dopamine.
Yep.
Like naturally, you have quite low dopamine levels, so your body's just chasing it and chasing it and chasing it, and that's the reason why you want to fix everything. Because when you fix something for someone, you get this little hit of dopamine. So really, like these guys that are like that own charities or they're carers and stuff, you'd go up to them and you'd think they're quite selfless people, but actually they're selfish bastards that are just addicted to fucking dopamine. Do you know what I mean? Actually, yeah.
But do you know what? I think that speaks a lot to character, because when you're describing like, you're chasing that next dopamine hit, right?
Yeah.
That in my brain characteristically is someone who likes to go out gambling, for example.
Yeah, and I've gone
or,
through that as well myself. Yeah.
Right. So like, but I think it says a lot about character, which way you choose to go with that, whether you stay down the lane of, that addictive personality, like applying it to like some people it's gaming, some people it's gambling, whatever it happens to be. If your character suggests that you are addicted to dopamine, fine, you can't do much about that. That's how your brain works.
Yeah.
I mean, we all do to some extent. But your way of satisfying that is to help people try and fix things. That's a way better outcome than like,
yeah. The thing is,
negative.
Yeah, like I did go for a bit of a gambling stage when I turned 18. To be fair, which I'm glad I got over.
Does that now make more sense to you now that you've got kind of?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like, I've known my whole life that I've had a very addictive personality. So I've not actually touched a single drug in my life because my biggest fear is obviously getting quite addicted to it.
Well, we discussed this a little bit when you first started out with like training and stuff like this. Like, we kind of went down the route of saying, well, okay, I mean, if you're going to be addicted to anything, I mean, addiction, generally speaking, in that sense, is always going to be bad because it's like to the extreme, right?
Yeah.
But if you're going to be spending your time doing anything, like fitness is a good way to go, business generally a good way to go, but then you've got to rein in to an extent to get some level of balance.
Yeah, and that's what I've struggled with since starting this business, is the balance between family and business. And so I've recently, you're going to be very surprised actually with this, I've recently changed my entire schedule. So my alarm is now 7 a.m, which is mental because beforehand it was 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, you've always
4
been
in the
like,
morning sometimes, yeah.
You've been early bird.
And then I'm trying to work out either at my lunchtime or like between 9 and 10.
Okay.
It's not been going great so far because like you get like these people that want filming early in the morning, and then I'm like, well, when the fuck am I going to fit my fitness in? So I've probably been to the gym 3 days a week in the last month because of it, which isn't great. But
it happens. But as well as I do that that's plenty to be able to maintain where you're at. Right, you're not going to be making groundbreaking progress, but sometimes that is absolutely fine. You're applying your efforts elsewhere in your life, and you're maintaining another facet, and there's nothing wrong with that.
There is because I'm still eating the same amount of food because my body just is addicted to food.
We all like food, sir. We all like food. Yeah, I mean that's the difficult part of having your own business, and it is having that willpower and the ability to turn around and go, no. I mean, your thing is somewhat unique, I would say, on the basis that, like, you were doing some filming recently, I saw on your page for a golf course. They want it to be really quiet, like no one around, and B, that's kind of where you're getting the best lighting, I suppose, like that sunrise sort of thing, which unfortunately at the moment is about 5 a.m. for those who don't get up early.
This is it, and but I love it because with ADHD, I'm doing something different every day almost. Even though I'm kind of hoping to become a full-time videographer at some point, like I've recently partnered up with a photographer to offer like videography packages, which is really cool.
Yep.
But I need anybody listening that knows anyone that's getting married soon and would like a free videographer, one of the best fucking videographers in the world, I'll
Fuzz,
let you know when I find him.
Fuzz,
I'm just joking.
Who you talking to? Right, I'll get you set up for March.
March?
Yep,
I want one
March.
tomorrow, mate.
Oh well, I don't know anyone tomorrow, but yeah, I can get you.
I appreciate that. Yeah. But yeah, if anybody wants a free videography, I'll probably be doing 2 or 3 for free before I charge a fuckload.
I mean, it depends how many you get through before then. But if you want me to book you in for one, I can get that sorted. I'll do that after this podcast, and you can decide if you want to do it or not.
You're too kind, Mike. You know too many people, mate, as well. We need to hermit about a bit.
I know a lot of people. It's
You're
draining.
a bit of a slag, I've noticed. Like, for someone who's quite an introvert, like, you're quite...
Yeah.
You bitch about a lot of people. Because you're a grumpy old man, and yet you know thousands of people.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. I don't know. I'd never really planned for this to be a thing, right? So... I've tried explaining this to a few people recently, and I want to get your view on this, right? So, my view with people is I have a neutral opinion as a starting point, right? Now, people see that as weird because people assume you should like everyone, and then until they show you that they're a bad person, then you should stop liking them, right? I'm neutral, and then you'll either go one way or the other. You'll either show me you're a relatively either interesting or decent human being, and my estimations will go up.
Yeah.
Or you go the other way, and then I will just try and avoid you. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think in my world, most of the people that I end up actively talking to, like, they're just decent people. Like,
okay, that's why then. Oh, I was going to say. There can't be that many decent people in the world, surely to God. But another superpower, apparently, with having ADHD, I'm going to fucking call this episode fucking ADHD at this point, is apparently we're really good judge of character. So, like...
Really?
Yeah, it's because we'd always kind of put ourselves in everyone's shoes, almost.
Okay, so natural empaths, you would say.
Yeah, which is kind of a good thing and a bad thing. But yeah, no, I have a real big issue with people that always have a mask on. So I just don't trust people that they're just not themselves ever at any point.
Yep. And this is the thing, with me, enough of the people call me a dick that I'm not acting.
Yeah, you are like if I had to put you down as like someone in the group, you're like Eeyore of the group. You're like you are. If you're gonna clap, now's the time to do it.
And yet, people just like I said this in my class this morning, right? It was particularly horrible. People were suffering, and then it was Caroline. I don't know if she's listening. She's local. Does really good burritos as well near where we live.
Oh, is that the burrito? Is that the place?
Yeah.
So she comes to clients?
No, she comes to classes. She's not one of my clients.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, you know the one. They're really good burritos.
Yeah.
Anyone's local, it's Burritos Mexican. If I can get some freebies out of this, Caroline, then
if she's listening, she should have sponsored this fucking podcast by now.
Listen, we can get post-event sponsorship.
She might know who I am though, because I think I accidentally had a go at her once. She parked blocking our driveway, selling burritos, and I was just like, "Excuse me, you shouldn't be there."
Yep. Don't mess with people who serve you food, dude.
Well, unless it's free, like I wouldn't have complained, but it wasn't.
Yeah,
free.
fair. Yeah, fair. But she was like, so she's not a member, so she pays for each individual class. She's like, I'm paying for this privilege, and you are just bullying me.
But that's what you fucking pay for, mate.
Yep, exactly that. Yeah.
To be fair, I'm quite a fun. I'm more of like a fun PT, I think.
I think I'm fun. I wait till people start crying.
If you say that, then you're not fun, mate. I think I'm fun.
I'm fun.
Like, I just make them laugh during a rep, just to kind of like engage with their abs a bit more.
Yeah, that's 100% a thing. And I have to check myself as they're struggling and starting to laugh and fail. Like, no, I shouldn't be doing that. Come on. Yeah.
I've only had a few complaints because I've tickled them, but apart from that, I'm all right. Hot weather, that's on my list. Fuck me, it's been hot.
God, you're British. Holy Jesus.
It's on my list
We've
because
not talked about weather today.
What I'm really curious about, and I'm not picturing it in my head until I've just said that, how do you sleep at night when it's hot? What's your go-to?
I mean, Jesus, Cat. She's shaking the table. You okay? Thank you. We have a fan on. Starkers, obviously, windows open.
Cover, no cover.
No cover, no duvet. Just whatever possible to be as cool as possible.
Oh wow, okay. Because I know I used to be like this, but there's a lot of people that just simply cannot sleep unless there's even like the thinnest cover on. So
No,
they need like a little blankie.
No,
Just balls out
it's
by
just too hot.
Yeah,
It's too hot. Like if you got a sheet on you, like I'd be sweating.
I'm the same. But what I've discovered since moving to this house, right? A ceiling fan is the most underrated piece of equipment in the world.
Really?
Better than any Dyson bottle. We've actually got almost all the Dyson fans you can purchase in the fucking Currys, right? But yet the ceiling fan is still the ultimate. The ultimate fan.
So, I mean, this is going to make me sound middle class, and you'll love this. The only ceiling fan we've got in our house is actually in our conservatory.
Yeah, it's a bit gay.
Yeah, I don't know. I could get one. I don't know.
To be fair, I've not actually been racist. I've just been homophobic now. But yeah, that is a bit old school, that, isn't it?
I don't like conservatories as a rule. They're far too hot in the summer. It's a greenhouse, and it's far too cold in the winter. It's not a usable room.
I would move that up to your bedroom, mate. Like the reason why it's amazing is that it blows cool air. Like
I know how a fan works.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a lot quieter than a normal fan.
Okay.
It's almost like a small white noise. The thing is, like, we leave it on every single night throughout the entire night through summer. So when like summer's over, we're like, oh shit, we need the noise, otherwise we can't sleep now.
Yeah, so that noise change is a big difference.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I mean, at some point, I think everyone's actually going to have to invest into air conditioning in this country because our houses are built to deal with cold weather because traditionally that's how the UK has always been cold majority of the year. So there's, it's brick built.
Are you going to mention global warming?
Insulation. I won't now.
Okay.
But our climate, see, I'm choosing my words here, is changing. And I think within the next 10 to 15 years, it's essentially going to be Spain.
Yeah, but then what's Spain going to be?
Hotter, like Africa, essentially.
Yeah.
Everything's just going to shifting up.
Africa is just going to be on fire.
Uninhabitable, essentially, yeah. Like the Sahara, essentially.
It is unreal, like how much has changed, but it's not going to be in our generation, or even probably my son's generation. It might impact, but I think it's going to be like his kids are going to be having to adapt. Like clothes are no longer going to be a thing, right?
Right. I want your opinion on this because I discussed this literally yesterday evening with my wife. I think we may have discussed it once, but my wife. So there is a show on. I'm going to say Amazon
Naked
Prime.
Attraction.
No.
Okay.
I don't get that show. Like, why are you watching that?
I'm not watching that. Like people that are horny at night on a Friday that are feeling lonely, probably.
So why are you watching Naked Attraction? Like, from what I understand, from what I've seen from Gogglebox, there's some weird people on there. Like, they shouldn't be.
You wouldn't go on there if you were normal, would you? Like, imagine this. I'm going to pitch this to you, right? First, we're gonna show your feet. Oh yeah, get your feet out for the lads. Then we're going to show your knees. Oh yeah, knees, bit of knee action, and then just your dick and balls. Like, what the fuck am I looking at? Like that looks like the weirdest Mr. Men character I've ever seen. Lift the whole thing up.
Like, these people are either getting paid a crap ton of money to do this, or they're the most body confident people in the world. And I'm not being rude; they probably shouldn't be.
The thing is, as well, is they could be the ugliest because they show the face the last. I think we should do the opposite. I think you should show the face the first, right? So have somebody really attractive, and then their dick has been like run over by a fucking 4x4.
Fucking mangled. Oh no. Where was I?
I don't know. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, right.
Keep talking over.
No, that went on to Dick Brigade. So we were watching a show on Amazon, and it is about, I want to say, Roman times, right? So it's like, I can forget what it's called, but it's like chariot racing involved. There's gladiator games, all this kind of stuff, right?
Flintstones.
But in a fashion sense, bear in mind, I'm Betty Swallocks. Like, it is warm. I'm wearing shorts. I'm wearing as little as possible to actually be acceptable human. And then you've got Romans knocking about in togas. Like, it looks so airy and breathable. And they, like, when it's cold, they got cloaks on. That's better than like a dressing gown. What I want to go backwards. I want to go back to toga life. And I said this, and she judged me. She said, "No, you can't have a toga," and now I'm upset.
Well, of course you can't. Not in this fucking day and age, Mike. I won't be friends with you. That's for starters.
Listen, I'm going to get in contact with like Armani or something, and we're going to do a thing.
Okay.
You know, we're now sponsored by Armani, and we must wear togas.
Good luck and have fun with that. If they pay us, then I will pay. I will fucking wear anything, mate. But what I'm thinking about though, like that is a true thing. Like, if people wore less clothes, people would be a little bit. Funnily enough, and ironically, people would be less body shamed. Because like clothing and fashion, like it covers up the bad shit, doesn't it? Whereas you almost like you've got nothing to hide now. Like you're all out there, so you either go work out or you don't. But now it's more obvious that you're not.
Yeah, fair. But then that doesn't explain the people that like to wear clothes that are 3 to 4 to 5 times too small for them and highlight certain shapes more. So that one I don't really get.
No, I don't. I can't be very comfortable either, can it? Really?
No. Whereas if everyone wore togas, it's kind of a one-size-fits-all jobby, right? So you'd need to adjust the length, obviously, because I think they sort of finish I'm going to say below the knee, top of the shin.
Okay. How do you spell toga, mate?
Toga.
I'm just writing down the episode title: Testicles and Togas. Anyway, carry on.
Testicles and togas. Yep. But I mean, it's not far away from my ancestral lineage, if you like, because you know we're kilt wearers. Basically, I just want them to be free. That's what I'm saying. Let the testicles be free.
Well, I wish wear kilts as well.
Oh God, yeah. We've got family tartan.
Of course you do. Yeah, leprechauns wear them, don't they?
I mean, correct me. Someone may have to correct me on this, but I think, in terms of heritage, the Irish invented kilts, and they went across to Scotland.
They must have invented LGBT as well, because they love a fucking rainbow.
Yeah, my last name, if you were to go across to Scotland, is then Mackey, so Mackay.
Mackie?
Yeah, Mackey.
You are a bit of a Mackie, to be fair.
And then in Gaelic, it's Mackay.
Mackay.
Magaudh.
Oh, right.
In case
do you think these listeners are actually interested in this shit?
Quite frankly, I don't care. To be honest with you, I just talk, and then if you're listening, this is your problem. But in Gaelic, Mackay means son of fire.
The thing is, I have no choice. I have to listen to this. Our listeners can just fast forward 15 seconds by tapping a button. I gotta listen to this shit.
The funny thing is, you'll be able to see that from the feedback statistics and stuff. Like most people skip this part.
Most people, yeah. Some guy was talking about fucking Mackies for 10 seconds. Oh god. Okay. Anyway, hot weather off the list. Air conditioning. Actually, to be fair, we do have like we do have like a little portable air conditioning unit. It is a bit of a godsend when it is hot. To be fair, but you have to like close all the doors in the room, and you got to like, do you know what I mean? It's just effort.
Turn your room into a fridge.
One thing that I am addicted to right now in life for the last 3 weeks, I would say, a Tesco's meal deal. I don't know what it is, because I keep driving past Tesco's on the way to and from the gym. I'm picking up a Tesco's meal deal at 10 to 7 in the morning. Well, I was obviously before my my schedule change, and I'm having a fucking chicken and bacon wrap, 2 boiled eggs, and an energy drink at 7:30 in the morning. And do you know what? It gets me going.
You're having that at 7:30 in the morning?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm just really hungry. And like my body,
breakfast.
I need to program myself to have like a protein shake instead, because that will fill me up as much as. But I'm just so hungry.
I just question why you're going for the meal deal. Like Tesco's has other things. You don't have to have a chicken and bacon wrap. Well, literally anything else. It's a supermarket. You can buy whatever you want. But what, 7:30 in the morning? Have breakfast.
You said anything.
Get a bit of cereal in you. No,
cereal shit. Cereal is so overrated. You shouldn't have cereal in the morning.
Why? Certain cereals are fine.
It's just too many carbs.
Nothing wrong with carbs. High fiber cereal with a couple bits of fruit, a protein shake. Oh, that's wonderful. That is.
What, instead of milk? Instead of milk, sort of thing.
Yeah. I'm not saying put the protein shake on the cereal. It depends what type of protein shake you have, really. But yeah. Depends on what way you want to go. You could have milk with your cereal and then a protein shake.
I just don't really. I don't ever fancy. Like, to be fair, for the last few weeks, I fancy something sweet every now and again. So I bought some like those Mars bar protein ones. Oh, I've got some here actually. Oh, that's just a wrapper. There you go. Boom, like that.
Mars, sponsor us.
Yeah, they're quite nice to be fair, but I'm not. I don't know what it is. In the morning, I fancy lunch, and at lunchtime, I fancy breakfast, and at dinner time,
I mean,
I don't even fucking get started.
I mean, the thing is, like there is no rule, and correct me if I'm wrong. We are adults,
Exactly.
right? There is no rule to say you must eat X food at
There
X
is
time.
no rule, but I have to eat in the office because otherwise it's 7:30 in the morning and my son's obviously got his cereals and he's looked at what I've got and he just points at me and goes, "Daddy, pasta, daddy," because I'm having like spaghetti bolognese for fucking breakfast.
I get it. Especially with where I used to do shift work as well. Like it made more sense to me to come home from work and have what you would consider dinner in the morning. And then before I go to work, I'd actually have like your breakfast with like cereal, toast, or whatever. I don't know why that just made more sense to me. Like I suppose that was my routine.
The thing is, breakfast, right?
Watching,
You're breaking a fast. You've not eaten for 8 hours plus, probably 10 hours. You're hungry. Why is the go-to some fucking cardboard bits of shit and milk in a bowl? Like,
I mean, you should prioritize protein, really. But
have a fucking bacon, sausage. Oh,
my biggest issue is why all breakfast foods, if you were to go somewhere and buy any kind of breakfast food, has to be eggs. I know I should like eggs. I just don't. They taste like farts.
They taste like farts.
They taste like farts. If
you were bullied as a child, weren't you?
Well, if you're on a bus full of people and someone whacks out an egg salad sandwich, they are the least popular person in the world.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't just like egg should only belong on a breakfast or in a fried with rice sort of version, right?
Yep.
Or boiled. That's it.
Oh, boiled eggs are just wrong.
Boiled eggs are so good, mate. With a bit of salt on it as well. Oh yeah, baby.
I know I should like eggs more, and if you like eggs, crack on because they're relatively good.
Crack on! Look at you with your little puns.
I just can't. I'll eat them as part of like
it
a fry-up.
It is weird.
I think it's
though,
wrong.
Isn't it? When you just, I don't know what about you. Sometimes I'm driving, I can't be asked to like change the radio station, so I'll just turn it down, and I'm just me with my own thoughts, and I'll just randomly just think about how the fuck discovered eggs. Like, who just thought this chicken just shat out this weird shaped fucking thing? I'm going to try and eat it. Yep. Or who's gone under a milk and squeezed its fucking tits and gone, oh yeah. Like, they must have had some weird fetish. And then they discovered fucking milk. And it's like, that's mental.
We've got a fun one for you now as well. So, do you know why Genghis Khan was so successful in like... So, again, this is a bit of history for you now as well, because we cover all topics, apparently. So Genghis Khan, like, he killed, relatively speaking, he killed about half the world's population at that time.
Okay, wow.
Like, insane. He did more than any world war, like, relatively speaking. Yeah. And there was no guns back then or anything else. He's doing that by hand, like sword, bow, boom. But the reason he was so successful and why his armies were able to be so mobile was because they basically lived off their horses. So they'd never used male horses. They only used female. And they could live for months purely. So female horse grazes on the grass, produces milk. So they would milk their horse. They would cut the neck of the horse to bleed. So they get some protein from like additional calories from it, whatever else. And they would make this milk blood mixture, which they would drink. They would turn the milk into yogurts, cheeses, and then they would carry like dried meats with them as well. And because of that, they could just roam about. They were entirely self-sufficient. Each individual man, because they were on horseback all the time, riding from they're like 3 years old, just away they go. And they do what they want. They were like the first mobile field unit, if you like.
Wow. Nice history lesson there. Yeah, there you go, guys. You get a free history lesson from Mike. I think we should have that little section in every episode we do now. So you've got to start researching some interesting facts.
Yeah. I like history.
You used to watch horrible histories as a kid, didn't you?
I actually did, yeah. I love the shit out of that show. But history in school, they always go like, oh, let's learn about some Nazis. there's so much to history. Like, do you ever watch Game of Thrones? I'd use this as an example.
The thing is, right, me and history do not get on. I hate
Why?
history and I hate fantasy. I fucking hate all of it.
Why?
I just don't understand it. I don't understand the whole, like, I don't know. I love techie, like I love futuristic tech shit, like
Yeah,
Marvel and DC and stuff. Like I love that
yeah,
superpower stuff. I know it's like
yeah,
fantasy as well in a way, but it's a lot more
yeah.
realistic than fucking dragons and I don't know leprechauns.
So it's not. So the Game of Thrones bit I'm kind of talking about, not necessarily the dragons aspect, but like people go like, oh, it's so crazy, it's so ruthless because these people just like they murder entire families or babies and all this kind of stuff, right? That stuff happens. Like if you look into British English
Yeah,
history
yeah,
specifically,
yeah.
we are assholes. Like some of the stuff we got up to was just madness,
Yeah, but don't you
absolutely
think that's
insanity.
like it's just like that's evolution? Like you're having to learn from mistakes, like we still are. Like
Kind of, but
we've ruined the world with global warming. And
oh yeah,
in the
pretty much.
future, they're going to be like, why the fuck did they do that? They're just pricks.
I mean, like if you watch a nature documentary,
It's still
right?
going on
Like this
today with
gives.
fucking Russia as well, by the way. So it's not even like
Oh
we're
yeah,
talking about.
this even if you look at recent human history, we are
Mm.
just horrendous. Like, if you watch a nature documentary, have you ever watched a nature documentary about like rival chimps and how chimps will just
You
go and
should
hunt
have just
other
stopped there
monkeys?
because I've never seen a nature documentary full stop.
What? You've never watched like David Attenborough or anything like that?
Only watched the memes on TikTok where they're like, and here we see.
You are missing out. That man is a national treasure, right? But
Yeah,
you
but he's
watch,
not in it. He just talks.
you see in some of it.
Do you know what? Do you know what would be hilarious actually if he is in it
Mm.
and someone's narrating him? And here we see the natural David Attenborough is there now his habitat.
Breaking that third wall. Um, but you watch like a nature documentary about chimps, for example, and they're just brutal, right? They go and hunt other monkeys or other groups
Yeah,
of
yeah.
chimps, and they all just beat them to death
That's
before
what
like ripping chunks out of them.
they're our
That's
ancestors.
us.
Yeah,
Yeah, we try to think we're civilized, right? But even
and we've
in
still got
recent
the same
history,
brains as well. So parts of us actually wanted to just do that.
yeah, 100%, we've got like full on chimp brain. But even in recent history, if you go back as like into the 90s, for example, there was. So have you heard of the Rwandan genocides?
No.
Okay, so we have immigrants coming in, and there was this plan to send people across to Rwanda, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, if you go back like 35 years, so in the mid 90s, just after we were born, that sort of time frame,
Mm.
there was a genocide in Rwanda, and you know how in this country, in terms of Catholicism, we had Catholics and Protestants and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, over there, you had people come from originally just two separate tribes, right? And one day, for whatever reason, like everyone's getting riled up, they just went out. They picked up their machetes because they're all farmers essentially, and they just started hacking each other to death. And it was one tribe just massacred about 30% of the population with machetes over the course of like 6 months to a year. Absolute insanity. This is a genuine thing.
But
You
this
can
is
go and
it.
look
It's still
this up.
happening now. Like you got these
It's
guys that just randomly wake up. A normal person randomly wakes up with a gun and
Yep.
just goes to their local nursery and just kills loads of
Yeah,
kids. And it's just like,
but
what the fuck is wrong with these guys?
yeah, it's madness.
But it's
But
the
when
power of
you
our brain, though. That our
when
brain is like we shouldn't trust our own brain, is what I'm saying.
yeah, but when they were looking at like how this come about, they were interviewing people that kind of took part in this because it's most of the population of Rwanda now. Like if you go to Rwanda, chances are you'll bump into someone that's hacked someone to death with a machete.
Yeah,
Like in all seriousness, right? And they, there's no significant markings, there's no ethnicity difference between these two tribes because they're all from the same place. And they were asking, well, how do you know who was part of what tribe? And like, well, we know because they're our neighbors. We know what tribe they were from. So those are the people they were killing, and it literally happened over the course of like 6 months. It's insane bit of history,
you are full of
and
knowledge
it's
today. You are, aren't you?
yeah. I like to learn stuff.
And then share it with the world.
Yeah,
I struggle with caring. That's my issue. Like everything you just said then, I honestly didn't give a fuck.
I just don't care.
That's my issue. Like I might be selfish, but at the same time, it's like I don't even know what happened for breakfast yesterday. I won't even be able to tell you. So you
Yep.
going on about like what happened 100 years ago, I'm like, I won't lie to you. No fucks.
Yep. I don't know. I think the problem is like there's stuff going on in our country at the moment
Yeah.
which has real potential to lead to things that have happened within the past century. Like
Yeah.
I'm talking like religious, like Holocausts and
The
genocides and
religious
stuff.
stuff fucking really fucks me off.
Yep,
Really fucks me off.
I agree completely. Like for me, if you want to practice religion, fine, but it should be confined to your place of
So I don't
worship
really
or
understand
inside
that
your
term
house.
either. Practice religion. Like that
Yeah.
just shows itself that it's not real, doesn't it? Like I'm just gonna go
Well, I
practice
don't know
my religion.
what other terminology to use really, but
I'll tell them to fuck
it
off.
should be purely confined to your place of worship
Yeah.
or your home.
The thing is,
You don't need to talk about it otherwise.
yeah, as you said earlier, though, like I don't care, like if they're religious or not, right? Like everyone's neutral to me. I'm not saying like
Yep.
people shouldn't be religious, but when it starts impacting the world from like a war crime view of it, and that people are being very judgmental, dependent on what religion you are, like what we need to realize is like years and years and years ago, like Christianity wasn't even a thing; it was Judaism. Like it was formed Judaism.
Judaism.
That's how much I don't fucking give a shit.
Hell.
Add a D between Judaism, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, Judaism.
Mm.
I said it so many times, I don't even give a fuck anymore now. So let's just move on.
Judaism.
But the whole thing's made up, is what I'm trying to say. Like the whole bollocks is made up. The Holy Bible. I would love to just kind of like be a fly on the wall to the person that was obviously as high as a fucking kite, and when they wrote that.
But this is where you need to understand the overlap between religion and history. So the Bible as we know it, so there's the Old Testament, which is Judaism, essentially, and then they have their own book, which I think is called the Torah. Again, I'm not familiar. I don't know a lot about religion. But from history, the Bible, as it was originally written, was rewritten, I think, early medieval times.
We
So
should
sort of like
rewrite it again.
1,000 years.
But we should
Well, like
rewrite it as a social
1,000 years.
media post. That's what we should be writing now. It's
Yeah.
2024. Just
But
be
it
nice to
was really-
people, period.
Yeah, so it's the current version is the St. James's Bible, right? That's what it's called. But it was rewritten like medieval sort of time, early medieval sort of times. But we're talking like 1,000 years after
Yeah.
Jesus was around, right? So number one,
By the way, Mike, Jesus wasn't around, but you carry on.
no, Jesus was a real dude. To be fair, whether he was the Messiah or not, questionable.
Was he a dude? Was he? He's a fucking dude.
Well, but the thing is, he's also portrayed as white because the Bible, as it is now written, was written by European people, like in
Yeah.
Italy. It's a form of control, basically. It's a way of controlling the masses because you're not allowed to murder each other because if you do, you'll go to hell.
Yeah.
Then suddenly it's a lot easier to control a massive population. That's all religion is, essentially, when it comes down to it. Yeah,
We have covered
Again,
a lot
I
in
don't-
this fucking episode. Jesus Christ.
we've gone full circle. Let's go back to naked attraction.
Like,
Get your balls out.
whoever started this dog walk is now they've literally just gone, what the fuck did I listen to just then?
Yeah, you've learned some shit. You've heard some things about balls.
They've pictured you in a toga with your tits out. Well, to be fair,
my
your tits
tits
probably
out.
were.
There you go. That's
But
an
your
image you didn't know you
testicles
could have today. Yep.
I don't know why I had energy drinks on my list. Oh yeah, I am a bit addicted to energy
You're
drinks
addicted.
again. Yeah, like I went from
Yeah.
not having an energy drink for years and years and years, and then I touched one, and now
Yep.
yeah, that's what happens when you touch things, guys.
You had a strawberry one fairly recently, a strawberry monster, I believe.
Yeah, very
Verdict.
overrated, just overrated.
Overrated. Okay. Again, I asked this. I've got shooty bang bangs tomorrow, so I need to top up on my energy drinks.
Okay.
So I need to know what flavor
Red
I'm going
Bull,
for, whether it's worth trying.
coconut is like drinking
Nope.
what?
Coconut's not. No.
Coconut
Not in a drink.
is the best flavored thing. Bounty could be.
No. Right.
No.
Okay. So you need to come around my house around Christmas sort of time. You'll love it. You can roll around with the amount of bounties we're
That's
throwing away.
fine. Tell you what, at Christmas, post them all for my fucking letterbox, mate. You know where I live.
I will. One at a
My
time.
mouth will be out round it, waiting. Like a little baby cow waiting to be fed.
Jesus Christ.
I love bounties. Bounty thing is right. If you're going to buy a chocolate bar, you just don't buy a bounty because it's just like why might I pay
Wait,
a pound?
no, hang on. You just said coconut's the best, best
It
flavour.
It is the best flavor, but it's like there's a lot of air in it, isn't there? Do you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't buy an Aero because, like, actually half it's air, half it's chocolate. You would buy a
Yeah,
Dairy
fair.
Milk because it's solid bar, like, or Yorkie.
Yep.
You know,
Texturally, though, I will say an Aero texturally is quite satisfying. However,
yeah,
the chocolate's just not as good. It's just
no.
not. Like
A mint Aero is quite good
Cadbury's.
as well, to be fair.
Cadbury just shits all over every other chocolate.
Yeah.
And Americans, if you're listening, come at me because your chocolate is the worst on the planet.
Yeah.
Cadbury's forever.
And the thing is, a lot of Americans would agree, I think, that they actually get it, Cadbury's imported sometimes, don't they?
Yeah,
Because
I don't blame them.
it's a lot more natural. Like Hershey's is so sweet.
I like Reese's, like the Reese's peanut butter things.
Yeah.
It's just over the top. Like you're doing so much to cover up the fact that your chocolate is shit.
Just smother it in peanut butter. That's what I do for my dog when I'm trying to give him a pill. Anyway, on that note,
America, you're all dogs.
yeah, you're fucking woof woof.
Just cover it in peanut butter and feed it to them.
Yeah, that is hilarious. I've gone through
We
my
were
list
doing
now.
so well. We were educational at one point in this podcast.
I'm never educational. That's my issue.
Classic.
Like I had to do a bit of research this week on something that I've never encountered before, work related, right? And I found an article on it, and I had to read it. It was only about literally 3 pages of A4. That was it. But my brain does not take reading in. So I spent more time when I could have just read it. I spent more time trying to find a video on what it was trying to tell me. And there was not a single video on the internet. So then I had to read it. And every single time I read a sentence, I had to reread it because my brain just doesn't fucking take words in. Does my head in.
Mr. Tech Guru, is there an AI thing that could read that out for you?
Yes. Okay. That's what my fucking therapist said yesterday, Mike. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Yeah, there is. All you got to do is highlight it and just ask Siri to read it out for you.
There you go.
Apple nerd.
I had someone say to me the other day I should go into life coaching, not therapy, because I'm not.
Once you've sorted your own life out, then yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I didn't fully get it, but I think that's because the person. I think I told you about this actually. Their experience with life coaching was this person telling them that what they should do when they've got a busy day is click this button on their emails to schedule it in date order and then work through it. Yeah. And they were paying money for that.
The thing is, money. Right, but what I've realised, and I'm not sure if I've mentioned this on the podcast before, going to so many networking events and meeting, like I've met thousands of business owners in Kent over the last 6 months, right? There are so many people that should be experiencing imposter syndrome because they fucking are an imposter. And yet they're so egotistic and they're so confident in what they believe and their services, but they're just utter bollocks. And then you've got loads of experts, and I mean genuine people that are just like, they should be raking it in. They should be like so successful, but because they are experiencing imposter syndrome, they doubt themselves and they've got no confidence.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
That is mad.
It is crazy. Yeah. It's a crazy world we live in.
Well, this is something we're going to need to discuss in the next podcast because I've never done networking. I've never done it. I've always tried to grow my business kind of organically. Which is recommendations from other people.
Organically, but you're just giving it a bit of a kick up the arse. Yeah.
So we're both going to 2 networking events. One is one that you're a member of, and it's an invite. That's on Monday. And the second one is actually part of another one you're a member of, which I've actually joined, and that'll be the first meeting. So,
but don't forget, that one specifically, if you don't want to continue with it, you can get a refund on that one. I'm not sure if you mentioned that to you.
I don't know. It's not a massive deal, but I'm interested to see. Again, I'm not really going to compare this to a holiday, but I am skeptical. I will say that, but we'll go in with an open mind. That's my view on it. Okay. So I just want to see what comes of it, see if it's worthwhile.
Make sure you write down notes because it's going to be like 2 weeks by the time we record an episode for that. But I'll say one last thing before we call the episode is networking. The ones that I go to, so the ones that I've invited you to, they're not forced. So I've gone to probably all the ones, like all the major ones now. And there's a few out there that are extremely forced. And what by that I mean, like it's basically like a pyramid scheme. You pay so much money, they basically force you to not only boost your business, but to boost the businesses around you. And that's the reason
Okay.
why your business like triples so quickly. It's because like you got 30 people in the room that are like forced to promote and advertise your business. But then you're
Right.
paying £3,000 a year. So why am I paying £3,000 a year to advertise not only my business but 30 other fucking businesses? That's just
Yeah.
mental. I shouldn't be forced to do that, especially because I've never used them. So I'm going to be, if they're shit and I've just referred them, I'm going to look like a right dickhead. So that's what I love about the ones that you're going to next week. Is like you're not forced to promote anything. You just go there, you have a drink with a load of like genuinely nice business owners, especially like you can, at these places. I'm quite good at it anyway. You can tell the shit, or you can tell them when you can tell when they're really genuinely nice and decent people. And normally when they're decent people, it's because they've got a decent business behind it.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, I'm looking forward to introducing you to some people. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, I've kind of had contact with one person already, and I've actually sent a referral their way already based on the conversation I had in the gym this morning.
Oh wow.
Sort of like rehabby type stuff. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting, and I should hopefully be getting some referrals through from them as well, specifically like rehab and strengthening for like it's osteopathy clinic. So yeah, I'm interested. I'm again skeptical, but going with an open mind. So
Yeah, because not only
just see
will
what
you
comes of it,
receive
basically.
referrals, because these guys are going to obviously see loads of people that aren't business owners. They're going to be dealing with a lot of like domestic, etc., etc. And then it'll be just one random day. There'll be like a customer who's like hobbling, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're right." He's like, "Yeah, I've just twisted my," and then they'll just randomly just think, "Oh, actually, I know a guy called Mike who would sort that out,"
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
thing. And that's how it all sort of works. But my advice to you would always be like, because you're going to be in front of business owners, is like, it's how does business relate to fitness? And a lot of people don't ever put that together. But actually, like to be your best self, you need to be introducing fitness to your daily regime, right? I'm going to shut up now.
100%.
Yeah.
I think especially for business owners as well, where they, well, based on our experience, lack time and then need to prioritize things as best possible,
Yeah.
like scheduling it, making time for it.
That's where I'm challenging myself at the minute, because I won't say the word lost, otherwise my therapist will fucking kill me. But I've gone from waking up at 4:30 in the morning to waking up at 7 in the morning, but going to bed at the same time. So like I haven't lost 2.5 hours, but I've lost 2.5 hours. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like,
No, you've gained 2.5 hours of sleep.
yes, but
And if that now means that you can be more efficient in the time that you are awake and you're actually
yes,
well recovered.
exactly. Hopefully, yeah. But yeah, I have lost 2.5 hours. Anyway, we'll end it there. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll be back on in a couple of weeks. This was completely not edited at all. So
Jeez.
apologies if... actually, I want to receive some feedback. If you're still listening, 52 minutes in, well done. Give yourself a clap. But get in touch with either myself, Mike, or hit us up on the Between Sets Instagram. Give us a bit of feedback. Maybe we should go fully bareback every time. Save me some time editing. What do you reckon?
Christ. I mean, it's like you're in the room with us, essentially, because we've just had a conversation.
Yeah.
And as you can tell, if you've reached this point, it's been quite wide ranging.
Yeah. And there's not been that many awkward silences, I wouldn't say. There never is normally. But I just try and cut a little bit of silence out normally to try and keep the listener engaged, because that's, I mean, I'm like digital marketer. You want to try and if you lose them within 3 seconds, you've lost them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to shut up.
The titles kind of write themselves, really. This is like history and literally bollocks.
Oh shit! I just ticked off. What did I call it? Testicles and togas, wasn't it?
Yeah, testicles and togas.
Right.
Yeah. Also, let me know if you want to start a fashion line with togas, because I'm interested.
Me or listeners? Because you
Anyone.
haven't sold it
I
to me,
know.
mate. I won't lie to you.
Listen, if you work for Armani and you want to start a line of togas,
Why
you need
just
like
Armani, by the way?
Look, it's the first one that comes to mind. I don't know.
Surely
I think
Under
like
Armour is the better. No.
Well, I think
it
if
used
you're
to go
training
under
in the
their
gym,
armour, did it? Togas.
Well, they actually did. Yeah. I mean, if you're training in a gym, then maybe togas aren't the way forward, especially if you're going like balls free.
But saying that, there's a lot of people that wear shit that is not the way forward anyway. Like very tight. We were just speaking about that, weren't we?
Yeah.
If you can see your testicles through what you're wearing, I don't know.
If you're
I don't want to piss
much.
people off at the minute, right? But I'm getting way too many men in their boxes on my Instagram, and I'm starting to question my sexuality, and I don't know what to do, and that's why I got a therapist. We'll end it there.
I tried to corrupt your Instagram at one point. Do you remember? I've been doing that to a few people. That's quite funny.
Or just sending me random reels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Changes what pops up on your Instagram then, basically, literally.
Yeah, I did get a lot of hawk-twa for a long time, to be fair. But the whole world did, I think. So the woman went from being a nobody. She was like in $7,000 in debt, and literally within 3 weeks, she was a millionaire. Unreal, mental.
It's outrageous.
Yeah,
and now she's going back to like disappearing.
And what's funny is that she wasn't even the social media person behind it. It was just someone that interviewed her.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I mean, that's the perfect situation, really. You go viral for all of about 3 weeks, make your money, and then vanish.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, can we do that? I would do that, I think. But the thing is, there's a lot of mentality behind it, though, isn't there? It's like when kids go famous at such a young age, there's a lot of like, you know what I mean? Drugs involved. Let's just leave it like that.
They get fucked up.
Yeah. Right. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Follow us on Instagram if you're not already. I think we've just about got 200 followers now, which is quite nice, I think.
Jesus.
So we will, we're getting about 70 listeners per week.
Okay.
Which is all right.
That's an audience.
Yeah, that is an audience. That.
Holy. Like you're listening to this right now.
I'm not sure. 55 minutes in, I won't lie. I don't know if they're still listening. We probably maybe
after
3.
After that little history lesson, I guarantee they were hooked.
No way, mate.
I want to see what else these people have to say.
Between snores is what we're going to recall the fucking podcast. Right, see you guys in a couple of weeks. Bye.
Bye.